You can share your screen. Yeah. So now
this will work fine, right?
you
File
pass
input
the
string of
file object. Yeah.
file object. Yeah.
Now you can go into the while, and instead of read, what you can do is you can use a different method. You can just remove that fir.read, and you can just give control space, and you should be able to see something called read line. Can you scroll down? Yeah.
Read line.
Yeah. So what is the difference is earlier you're taking only few data and you're typecasting it. Now you'll get the entire thing in the string format itself. So here you can just cross check whether the string is empty or not. String is an object, so you don't need to check it as a null -1. You can still go and check it as an object is present or not as null. So only if it is not null, you're gonna fetch the data from it. And you can just give system.out.print and then the far. So you can assign that to a string value, or you can typecast to string later. Anything is fine.
So fr.read, I can
You
assign
can
it
just
to
give
some.
fr.readline.
Here it's.
You have to remove one before fr.
Okay.
Yeah, and after that you have to close your fr object. Okay, you have done that. Cool. Now you can execute and see what is the object.
Getting null.
Okay. So did you give the file path? Like you have a file there?
Yeah, the same path, sample.txt.
Okay. So you go to that below thing.
Just cat this. We have some content as well.
Okay. Yeah. So you have this object now input string reader, and you have your file input string. Can you scroll right? Once. Yeah, your file input string, and you have your object. This is perfect. No, it is not happening. The object is null. Can you just create a string outside while and assign that string in fr.readline in while loop? Just string,
Outside while, right?
yeah, string some reference and use that reference and use it in while loop. Yes, equal to str equal to fir.readline, and just print the str here. Yeah, try to execute it.
Okay, so it is. This read line was reading the first line, and the second line it was trying to.
Yeah, yeah. So like whatever data you're reading it, every time it was not going to the next loop. So that is the reason it was not assigned. So you were always ended up with null value.
Okay.
So, but why did it work in the earlier one? So the data is present. Only issues was in the file reader part. Okay, we'll see that. And now can we try with the buffer writer?
Same try catch block,
Yeah, you
right?
can just update the file. Yeah, what you can do is, yeah, you can just update there on the buffer writer.
So here I should be passing the path, right? Again.
Yeah, so you have again two things. Either you have to pass your writer object, as you passed here reader, you have to pass again your writer. No, no, can you go down once? So if you see that in the buffer writer, can you open that constructor? Yeah, you see writer object. So writer is again an abstract class. You have to pass some other writer. It can be input stream writer or something, whatever writer that child class object has to be passed in it.
Okay. So we can pass.
You can have new
File.
file writer. Yeah, you will have file writer. And then you pass the same file path within it, the file object.
We can create a new file as well, right? Here itself.
Yeah, if you want, you can create a new file and then have that also. You have to create again a new file object, or you can just pass the string file path to.
Directly we can pass a path.
Yeah, you can just give file path to. Anyway, it will create it by itself.
Okay.
Yeah, pw dot and the write method. So if you see in the write method, you can either pass character array or string or integer. So earlier we were just passing byte array in case of streams. So that was like you have to convert everything to bytes and then you have to upload, right? Whereas here you can just directly pass the data. You don't need to do that other work. That is the reason most probably like they prefer to go with this usual way. And if you're pretty much sure that you want only the format of reading in bytes, you go with the streams part.
Okay.
So now you can just go write, just type the write for character or string, whatever you wish to.
Just string. So the same line we'll put it in the name file.
That is, yeah, you can do that. Yeah. And then you can close your PW instance. Yeah. Now save it and then check whether the other file has some data. For sample 0, sample 2, whichever you created.
Sample out.
Sample
So
out.
this is the file with it.
Yeah.
I think it's empty.
Okay. Now can you go to your this part? New file writer you have the file path. Okay. The file path is in string only, right? Like it's a string variable. You have as file path too.
Yeah, string.
Okay.
So the file is getting created, but this write is not happening.
I think maybe that the write might not happen. Can you just give some other string in that? Like maybe string might be empty. Can you just give str itself in this that double quotes? Do we have anything?
Okay.
Nothing?
Yeah. Yeah, somehow.
You have? Okay. Okay. So the earlier the string data was not read. Now can you go and see why the data was not read? Okay, because that is in a different file, right? And the string object is not stored anywhere. You're doing that only on the file reading part, like fir.readline and accepting it, but you're not using that string later.
Yeah, so nothing is changing and it's in scope, right? So
Yeah, so maybe if you
not
have
in
defined some defaulted value there, that scope might have been used for this.
let me try to print string here once. Okay, it's not having.
You see null there, right? After it's a println. Can you give println so that you'll get to know it's in the next line?
Yeah, it's null.
So your str was null. So your data was also null. So you don't have anything in your file.
So,
Because you're assigning that only when you're reading it, right?
okay, but I'm not
And then you also
reassigning
closing the
anything.
FIR instance later. So what happens? Your entire thing gets closed out within that loop. Within only the scope of that particular while loop, you have the string data. Post that it's empty.
We have declared string str outside while loop, right? So it should have the data till the end
But
of
you're assigning in that while loop, right? The FIR.readline. So whenever you read that FIR, it will work. And after that 49, you're closing the FIR. So what happens? Your entire FIR object is closed. So you don't have anything in str later. Though your variable is global, you don't have data in it.
Okay.
because it's a one-time activity, right? So if you are just assigning that str equal to whatever data you read, and if not closing it, it might have worked.
So maybe we'll try closing it after writing.
Yeah, you can try that way. So meanwhile, we'll just do one more thing. In the right B, after 50 line. Oh, you executed it? Okay.
Yeah, executed. It's still it's still null.
Okay. Can you just scroll up? Just a minute. Let me see what is happening. Stream is still. Okay. After while loop, right? After 46 line, can you just assign the str equal to fr.readline, the same line which you have in while loop?
After 46, I mean
After 46.
Before sysout?
Yeah.
That will again result in null, right? The first line will be, we have only one line of data. If we reassign it, it will.
No. I just want you to get the entire, take the entire data to fr.readline. Like in the line number 45 itself, you just have that str equal to fr.readline.
Okay, outside.
Yeah. Now just check for str not equal to 1. Can you read it now? So what happened is you were assigning it on while loop. That is the reason your data was not setting in string.
Okay.
So now after that write function, yeah, you are testing.
So even if we close, this should work fine, right? In this case.
Yeah, I think it should. Yeah. It's not.
It's not writing anything here.
You can just comment that 49 line and see again.
I mean, close. I can keep it afterwards.
Yeah, you keep it last. You just comment it out.
Keep it here. So this getting printed fine.
I think this time it got printed.
I don't see this high anywhere.
You have just str. Okay, can you go there? What is str? How did we give it?
Earlier we were using string, right?
Okay, so we were using string, but can you just go to the right method? You'll have 3 overloaded methods. Can you just open the right method? Okay, you have the string object. You're just passing the same string.
It will append, right? Or it will overwrite, right? If we have some content.
You're using a different file to write, right? No, anyway.
Yeah, different file. Different from the file that we are using for input.
Yeah. The thing is, your str object itself is getting close, I think. That is the reason you're not getting anything in here. In the line number 51. Even that statement was not printed, right? The high statement.
Yeah. So,
Okay. Can you just give write again and just a minute.
That high statement got printed, right? Actually, only thing is it is not right.
No, it didn't print, right? Can you just like go to the right of your console, Priya?
Oh,
I don't
okay.
see
Okay.
high.
Yeah, yeah, it's
yeah,
not. It's not.
high is
printed.
not there.
Yeah,
This
high is not there.
content is printed twice.
Because the above one was system and Albert print, so you got your STR again. Okay. Can we debug this once? Like keep a debugger point on 51 and then can we debug
I
again?
think it's printing endlessly. So if you see it's going on, it's console.
It is not ending?
Yeah, it's not ending. It's stuck in this loop itself, while loop.
Okay.
Okay. So we need to break it. This one will terminate, right?
Yeah, that's the one. Terminate. I think multiple files are running.
Okay, so this one string not equal to null, it's checking endlessly.
Okay.
So we'll just remove this vital and then try. We have only one line of data, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, now you have your data.
Yeah, it's working fine. It has worked.
It's working?
This time it's working fine. That condition only was causing some
No, that
issue.
was the issue. Yeah.
While loop.
Yeah. Now after this line number 53, you can use BW dot new line. So if you wanted to have your content like not in the same line, if you want to bypass, since in this one you can append and you can have your new line context like in the next line. So there are additional methods which we haven't seen in the stream classes. So that is the reason many prefer to go with the reader and writers.
So you mean buffered input stream and buffered reader?
Yeah,
are
buffered
almost
input
same?
stream and this is buffered writer. So buffered input stream and buffered reader, right?
Reader.
So both are almost similar thing. Only difference is like you might not have additional methods as you have in your usual classes like string, right? That can't be used in your input stream. You have to convert everything to bytes if you wanted to add your data or if you want to read it. So whereas here it will be like more easier for a developer to add the data whatever you want if you have the content ready. Like it's more readable methods and you have multiple methods to do that.
Okay.
So now you see in next line was the other line. And if you want to append, you instead of write, you can even use append method here.
Instead of write, we can. Okay.
So after like bw.write, have one more bw.append, line number after 55. Yeah, you append and you can append any character. If you are pretty sure that you're going to go with the sequence, you can go with the sequence, like the number of characters you want to append. You can just give append of string or str or any string data that gets appended immediately in the same line, not in the next line. So these are the ways you can actually use it. Okay.
Instead of writing, if
you want to just if you write what happens, it will like the way sometimes what happens without flushing, like your file will be like new file every time. It will create in the same different files. we want to append the data in the same file, then we go to use the append method. And we append it in the similar line, or if you want to just make the entire content together, or if you want to append it in the next line, you just have the next line as /n, and then you'll have your append data. So however your structure has to be in your file, you can manipulate as per that in your using the methods of buffer writer.
Okay. Yeah, this one is clear now.
Okay. So the mark method, which you said in the buffered input stream, right? Can you scroll up and go to that class where you had that stream which is commented? Yeah. You can have that. I think one for loop is opened. Right? You can just comment that if else, so that you will get the loop closed.
Yeah.
So the mark is kind of like setting a limit. So if you say like, okay, I can read only from 1 to 10 bytes and not more than that. And if something is read more than that, I just want to do a reset operation. So something you're marking it, just basically like a to-do list. If you have something more than that, I don't want it to be considered. It is like taken as a defaultly invalid data. So in that case, what we do is we use the mark method. So where it tells you the position, like what data I can read and what data I cannot read. So if you use that BIS dot before for loop, or like before the while loop itself, you can just go and type BIS dot. If you see the mark method, go to that. It asks you the read limit.
Yeah.
Okay, so what is the data you're limiting it to read? It is like -1 or 0 or 1, whatever data you wanted to limit, you can just limit it and then check it out to just make sure that you're not reading an invalid data. So this is again something which is given only to evaluate in the byte format, not in the readers or writers classes. So you can just go to that mark method. You can just go to that mark. Yeah. So if you see the structure of this, it's again a thread related class, and you're just having a mark limit is nothing but the read limit. Can you just select that mark limit and then go where it has been defined? Yeah. So if you see, this is again like a protected variable where you use in all your child classes. So where is the maximum part you can read? The limit where you can restrict your read operation. So it's just like your like if you have a running days, you say like this is your final limit where you can end your things, right? The same way to end up your entire read context, like how you don't want to cross your end of file limit, then you can go with the mark limit purpose. That is the only purpose we have this, but it's not majorly used in any of your development purposes. So we have that method. That's it. So whenever we read the data, we can just say that, okay, after this particular one, you can reset my data. So what we'll do is now go to your class. We can just have the read method. You already create buffered input stream, right? Okay. So what you do is in the buffered input stream dot mark, just give 1 as your data. I don't know what data is in file. Just give 1. And after that, whatever data you're reading, BAS.read, right? You can just comment the while loop. We'll just test how the mark function works.
So you comment out.
Yeah, you can close that while block alone. Yeah, line 40. Yeah. So now what you do is every time you read, you take that into the BAS.read method. So BAS.read method and assign it to your int type, the int variable where you can assign the read value. Create an instance I equal, yeah, you can give the, yeah, create I and
same line itself.
Yeah, you just give BAS.read, like the line number 27 itself, int I equal to BAS.read. Yeah. And after that, give BAS.mark of 1. Like take the line number 26 and paste it after that. Yeah, and then again I equal to BAS.read. Just copy the line number 27, remove the data type alone. Yeah. Just do it for my multiple times. Just print it again and again. and just again give a reset method. Just print it for 4 to 5 times. No, don't need mark. Don't need of mark. Just read method. Just read continuously.
Just I is equal to
Yeah, I equal to bis dot read. Just that well. And post
Okay.
maybe after multiple times. Now give bis dot. There's a method called reset. Yeah. Then just click on it. Yeah. Can you execute this now? You can just set the mark value to 100 also or 10, some higher value. We'll see what is happening. Yeah. You just, because one may not help you to know the difference.
so you're not printing anything, right? Yeah.
No, we are not printing it. It will help you to read how the data is read. So it's
how will we
basically
say
like whatever, whenever you're reading, the limit is 10. If your data is more than that, it will be unlimited, like invalid data, right? So in that case, your data will not be read from your file. So you are just resetting it again. The entire data becomes invalid. So let's go, let's see what is there in your file first.
Okay, so this is the first file, sample.txt. Okay. And this is the content.
Yeah, this is the one. Okay. Yeah, after that reset, can you just print your, like what you do is before you're reading, before you're doing the mark operation, print your data. And after the line number 32, print your data. And then we'll see what is happening. Maybe we can notice the difference there.
I just need to print I, right?
Yeah, you can just typecast to char also if you want to see the content. Otherwise, you can just have it as I.
Okay. And after line 33?
Yeah, yeah.
Fine, right?
Yeah, fine. You have others. When you scroll down, something common. Yeah, I think that is not required. Please remove if else. Okay, else drop. Yeah, now your file is correct.
So here it is printing H.
Yeah. So can you go to this? If you see the content right in the hello part, so though you have your mark limit, after you're reading every time, you might not be sure about that one. So better you print I also next to that, so you know the where the character is getting printed from, because you have multiple O's and E's in your text.
So you want me to print
Yeah. After
after
char of
week
I,
3?
just print the I also. They call the position of that.
This is fine.
Yeah, that's fine. So it's basically like when you read any paragraph, right? We'll keep our finger and read, right? So where you keep your finger, that is your starting point. The same way, this read method will consider the mark position as 10. So every time it will consider that mark as 10 and then it will read from that particular index. If you don't have mark, it will read continuously. It's basically like to be more precise on where you have the data.
So
You can actually do one more thing, the H part. Where how the read letter position I can calculate.
this is printing H, the first one, and then ELLO.
Can you just now
This one
increase
is
the marks value to 1? Now can you just change the value of 1 instead of mark 10? So now we had 72, 111, 101. Let's see what is happening now after making it 1. let's try it with normal text, like character test. That might help us to figure it out better way.
So I think I'm getting this. One moment. I will try this. Okay, so not the format. Okay.
Like since it's string, right? I'm not pretty sure like how to get it here. So we can try it in string format, like character format.
Okay.
So just in your file, just have the content A, B, C, or X, Y, Z, just 3 characters, not more than that. I place it in single quotes ABC. So we'll see how that reads. Or you can just have ABC, however. Yeah. Now set your mark as 1. Now go to your like before mark
Okay.
position, print your read data.
So I will move it below. It's fine, right?
Just
That's the
print
first,
the
right?
yeah, cool. Yeah. You just printed the I value. And after that, I don't think multiple reads. Okay, it might be no issues. And
Shall we print I at the end of each read?
yeah, you can do that. And typecast to cap, that should be fine. Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's good. Yeah, good. And now after this, you are giving reset, right? Okay. I think multiple reads are happening. That is the issue. So where did you reset? Yeah, even in the line number, okay, after line number 38, can you just differentiate like you're resetting it after the test is out or something like that to understand the position of mark? So after reset, your position is again starting from first. So if you see
Okay, so
the 97,
it's skipping this.
it's skipping the 1 and it's again resetting it. So it's not considering the mark. So earlier the mark position was 1. So it was reading it from the next mark position. But after you reset, it's empty. So it will read normally. So it's basically like how you read your paragraphs or context, right? The huge paragraphs. It's the same way. But there is no major difference. Like unless you have like very important context on marking the data from here, you have to consider. Only then we take it as into consideration. Otherwise, we never go for mark. We just use read or read line methods, write and the writer methods. That's it. New line methods. These are the most way we use the file methods, not the other ones.
Okay.
It's just like it's just they are in place, but we never use it as like how we use the other methods like read and write more dominant. Yeah. So this is the one. So I wanted you to try something different, similar to this, but in case of text file, I want you to try it from an Excel file. Just give it a try, else we'll see it tomorrow.
Okay.
Okay. So instead of TXT, try to write something in an Excel file, because Excel file, yeah, I don't want to say it now. You just give it a try. We'll see tomorrow how to read and write from an Excel file with supporting libraries as well as from the Java APIs.
Okay.
Yeah, and also like right now you'll just try it with buffer readers and buffer writers. There are multiple readers and writers. If you just go to that buffer reader class, can you just open buffer reader once? The last class which is opened. Yeah. Buffer reader dot class file. Yeah, you just open it. And then can you link in? Yeah, if you see in the left side, can you scroll little down? Like sorry, up. Yeah. Can you scroll a little more up?
Want to go up?
Means I just want to see the down classes, something with S, starting with S.
Okay.
Yeah. So here you can see string reader and string writer, right? I want you to try with that string reader and string writer class. Similar one, try to do something with string reader and writer and explore the methods of that class. Tomorrow we'll see more about the object output stream and object input stream. That is more of the serialization concept, which we heard earlier, like when the data is converted from one source to another source, how the data gets serialized, converts in an encoded format, and how do we read. That we are going to see it in terms of OOPS concept. That is a major one, that object-oriented output stream and object-oriented input stream. And once it is done, we'll see how to complete the read and write operation using the Excel one.
Okay.
Yeah, so give a try using string reader and writer. We'll continue on the tomorrow's class on file handling.
Okay.
Thank you. Have a good day.
Thank you. Thank you.